Hello. Okay, next tutorial. This tutorial is meant to be my interpretation of a Silent Hill evil nurse. Now, the nurses in both films, they're kind of the same, but I suppose in the second film they're more grotesque, so I've just done my version inspired by the two put together. And this look has been requested by so many people now to date since I first started on YouTube. I'll flash on the screen now a few of the people that requested it first. I know there's been so many, so I can't flash them all on the screen, obviously. But thank you all so much for requesting it. I'm sorry to have put it off this late. The reason I've put it off is because there are a few people on YouTube that have done this look already, and they've done it so well that I didn't really want to interfere with that kind of look. Like, for example, Midnight Bandage and Pinkstylist have both done amazing versions of them. But you guys really seem to want to see my version, so here it is. I really hope you guys like it, and if you'd like to see how to recreate this look, stay tuned. So the first thing that I'm going to do is block out my eyebrows. I'm also going to be applying a plain latex bald cap, and the reason I'm blocking out my eyebrows is because I'm going to be applying a lot of liquid latex over them, and I obviously don't want to pull my eyebrows out. Yeah. As for my beard, I'm just going to apply some Vaseline over that, because that's a lot stronger than my eyebrows. So yeah, so I'm going to pop a link here and here to two tutorials I've done in the past to teach you guys how to block your eyebrows out and apply a bald cap, just so I can save some time up in this video. So yeah, so I'm going to do that and get back to you. So there we are. As you can see, I've covered my ears with my bald cap as well, because I don't want this look obviously to have ears. They kind of need to be fused to the head, that kind of a thing. Yeah, so now that I've done that, I can take a regular sponge and some liquid latex. I'm going to be using quite a lot of liquid latex in this look, so yeah, just bear that in mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to a voiceover now, because I'm going to be covering one eye and my mouth, so I won't be able to talk. So yeah, so I'm going to coat my face with liquid latex. I've not blended the edge of my bald cap yet, but I'm going to do probably, I don't know actually, maybe about 3-4 coats, 5, 6, I don't know yet. So until I start I won't really realise. So yeah, so I'm going to switch to my voiceover now, and we'll go from there. So I start off by applying the first coat of liquid latex on my face, and now the idea is, before it dries, I can take some regular cotton wool, just some fluffy cotton wool, and I can apply that over my eye and stick the edges down really firmly around my eye, just where the latex is, so that it can grip really nicely. And then I pull off the excess cotton wool, and I'm just going to let that dry so that it won't move. So once it dried, I took some more liquid latex and just dabbed it around the edge of the cotton wool. The reason I'm using cotton wool is because I've blocked my eyes out with several different materials in the past, and I found that using a fluffy cotton wool is just so much more comfortable, and you can blink underneath it as well, so it's not keeping one eye closed. Then I took some regular tissue paper, and the idea is that you pull it in half so you get the finer side of the tissue. It's just a lot easier to saturate that and apply it on the face. So then the idea is you tear it into small strips so it's manageable, and you apply latex in the area where you want the tissue to be. Like for example over the eye, and that's the easiest place to start with really. And then I pressed the tissue over the top of that and saturated it with liquid latex. I then put some liquid latex on my top lip and applied some cotton wool just under my nose so that I can make the area a lot more smoother. Now I know I want a nose obviously to be more prominent slightly, but I do want it to be a lot smoother, so I'm doing that just to bulk up the area. Now I'm doing this order in this specific way just so I can show you guys how I'm doing it. It doesn't really matter, as long as you block the eye out first, it doesn't really matter how you do it. The entire face needs to be, aside from one eye obviously, needs to be covered in liquid latex and tissue, but I'm doing it in this order just so I can show you guys easier how I'm doing it. Once I've got enough layers built up with the cotton wool, I can take some regular masking tape and I can apply it over my mouth. And the reason I'm doing this is just so I can make the area a lot smoother, and it's a lot easier to do it with masking tape. Usually I wouldn't, but because the end result is going to be my face covered in bandage, it's going to be a lot easier to hide this texture. So I'm going to cover my mouth in tape, and then I'll be able to apply some liquid latex over the top of that just to smooth it off. The reason I'm using liquid latex and tissue underneath the bandage is just because I want there to be this kind of silhouette where it's almost like a mask, but the face doesn't really resemble a face aside from the nose. So then I start applying a layer of liquid latex over the actual masking tape, making sure after every coat of latex before it dries I take a thin layer of tissue and press it over the top. I then, similar to my mouth, I just took some regular masking tape again and just applied it from the top of my nose to the bottom of my lip, just to smooth off the area where my nose is, and I cut either side just so it fits down nicely. Now the idea isn't to block my nose out completely, it's just to make the area and the transition a bit more smoother. I then continued to apply some more tissue all over the rest of the face, obviously making sure there's a distance between the eye that isn't covered. So I would apply a layer of liquid latex and then a layer of tissue and then saturate that tissue. I think I did this for around 5-6 coats really. You'll know when it's thick enough because the whole area will be smooth enough and your face will start resembling that of a mannequin's really. So eventually your face will start looking like this. Very strange, very bizarre, but bulky. So yeah, then I took some regular Mehron Spirit Gum and some regular Bandage. I took Bandage that was quite like stretchy and absorbent just because I know that it will stick down nicely, so I can apply some Spirit Gum with a cotton bud to the majority of my face, so then I can wrap around the bandage and I know it will stick quite nicely. On the final bit of bandage I made sure to slightly overlap it over my nose and my one remaining eye just to make it look ever so slightly more creepy, like one eye is peering through. I then took some more liquid latex and just started dabbing it over the bandage, just because doing this, one, it'll help it keep in place and it'll bond it to the latex that's already stuck to my face, and two, it makes it that much nicer to paint and it will give that really rough, old kind of a texture. This next bit is optional depending on how you use your colours. I use some instant coffee because I know that it stains bandage really well. I literally dilute the coffee with some water and I'm able to brush the coffee kind of colour onto my bandage, just because I know that it gives that kind of mummy effect and this charred but old bandage type effect. I think it's quite cool. I mean, you can use different cream colours to get the effect, but because I know this works, I prefer to use it. I then took some regular black hairspray just to give that a bit more aged and charred effect, and I just sprayed it in random locations on the face just to make it look, as I said, that bit more old, aged, burnt, kind of rustic effect. I then took some Grimace Black Cream in 101 because it's super awesome when it blends, and it also applies really nicely to the fabric, to the bandage I mean. So I applied that all to the area around my eye and the latex that surrounds it, and I also blended it out ever so slightly to the bandage just so it looks like this kind of sunken eye like it is in the films. I then took some black gel eyeliner by Collection 2000 and just lined the waterline of my eye just to make my eye look that much more deep and set and dark. I then took the black cream again and lined again underneath my eye that's on show, but also under the eye that isn't on show but ever so slightly further down, and I just tapered it off just so it looked more like a hollow area on my face. I also used the black to line the lines of where the bandage meets the other bandage just to add that bit of depth. The thing that really added the extra depth to the look is some black hairspray. I'd already used it above my eye on one side, but by adding it this way, it makes it look that much more smoky and charred, as if the look is burnt and singed onto the face. I then took my Collection 2000 felt eyeliner in Extreme, just because it has this really nice felt tip on the end, and I drew on some intricate veins just all over the face, just to give this illusion that there's blood vessels pumping through the face, and in every other scene you see these when there's a close-up, and it looks very creepy and intricate, and yeah, so I thought I'd do my version of it. I then took a red eyeliner pencil by MUA, just to get some extra colour into this, and I did some other lines, basically veins that are drawn off the black lines that I'd already drawn, just to give the illusion of depth and just to add a bit more colour texture to it. I also used a blue pencil as well by MUA because I wanted that extra bit of colour in there, because veins aren't just red, and I applied it as if it was tree trunks or plant roots, basically just spiralling off other roots, other lines I've already drawn, just to give that hint of blue and red and black. I then took the coffee mixture that I used before and applied it onto my neck, because the costume on here obviously shows off my neckline. So you don't have to use this, as I said before, you could use a brown cream mixed with some white Snazaroo for example, but because I know this has worked for me in the past, I decided to apply the coffee mixture that I used on the bandage on my neck, just so the colour actually matches. I then applied a mixture of silver kind of white and black hairspray on my torso, as I did on my face, just so the colours tie in. I then took a red pencil by MUA, as I did on my face, and I drew some lines on my neck to give the illusion of veins. I also used a blue MUA pencil and my black Makeup Collection 2000 eyeliner felt pen, just to give the same illusion that I did on my face, just because I know not all of my chest is going to be on show with the costume, but the area that I want on show needs to be very veiny and dark and dull, as my face is. I then took a single pair of eye lenses by Eyes Bright. These are called Sabertooth. They're basically just pure black lenses. I only applied one of the lenses in obviously the eye that's on show, just because I want the eye to look that much more deep and scary. I then finished off the look by applying my nurse's hat, as well as my obviously uniform, which I got from Amazon I believe, but I just obviously dirtied it up with some black and some red and hairspray and some fake blood, just to make it look a bit more rustic and old and more like the film, really. So yeah, that's it really. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It's super gruesome and super dark. But yeah, if you like it, usual, make sure to rate, comment, subscribe and all that jazz. And yeah, so until next time, bye.